Hi, I would like to continue with my financial story, and what I'm doing in these videos is picking out parts of the journey whereby I can speak about things I've done well, things I've not done so well, where I've made mistakes, so that somebody can learn from that. In the last video, I was talking about an emergency fund, having a side in savings at least 3 times what you earn in a month. In this particular video, what I would like to touch on is the fact that we shouldn't allow the bigness of our project to discourage us. We shouldn't allow the thought of or the fear of failure to discourage us from embarking on big projects. Now, I trained as a solicitor, and at some point I had the privilege of running my own practice, and it was good, and I didn't even know it was something I could do. But as time went on, I had repeat clients and things were running quite smoothly. But then what happened was that the recession hit, and it just affected everything tremendously. And one thing that I look back now, hindsight, they say, is a great thing. I look back now, and one of the things that I can say is that I hadn't put aside enough to keep things ticking over. I mean, sometimes you do put some money aside, but it's just not enough because of the magnitude of the crash or the collapse. But looking back, I feel that I hadn't put aside enough. When things are ticking over nicely, you are not aware that a rainy day will come. And in life, a rainy day surely comes. So one thing that I learned from that period of time was that I hadn't put enough aside. So the recession hit, and the debts began to mount up, bills began to mount up, and commitments couldn't be met. And eventually I had to shut the firm down. And that was a whole long process. But what am I saying here? I'm encouraging us to go out of our way to learn the principles of finance and to put those principles in place. There are things that I've learned now that if I had known those things about 20, 30 years ago, I would probably be in a better financial position today. But the thing about life is, don't beat yourself up, pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and forge ahead. So I'm just, a little voice encouraging at least one person out there to learn the principles of finance and put them to practice. When you practice a particular principle or set of principles over and over again, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes something that's ingrained in you. You almost feel as if it's part of your DNA. You're doing it without even thinking much about it. But when you need to draw on the results of those principles, the results of the diligence and the prudence, then you'll be smiling. So I'm just encouraging you to make sure that whatever work you're doing, whatever business you're doing, make sure you're putting something aside for the rainy day. Don't get soaked in the rain. I'll be back again soon.